Welcome to Voices from the Bench, a dental laboratory podcast. Send us an email at info@voicesfromthebench.com and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Greetings and welcome to episode 287 of Voices from the Bench. My name is Elvis.
And my name is Barbara. What's up?
Well, Barb, this is the first time we're talking to each other since we went to Chicago to the DTG Symposium.
Which, by the way, was amazing.
Gotta say, it was probably one of the better meetings I've been to.
Yeah.
Great group of people, beautiful facilities, that GC America building.
Yep.
I make the joke over and over that they must have built the thing yesterday, but man, was it nice.
I tell you what, being a ceramist, you know me, like I am just stoked. The whole meeting, the photographs, the speakers, the vibe, the people, like I just can't say enough positive things about it. And I know you feel the same way because we talked about it the whole time.
Yeah. Actually, when we got back from the show, I texted you. I was like, maybe we should redo Monday's episode. I want to talk about how much I love this thing.
I know.
But yeah, for those that don't know that GC America facility, it's like when you walk in the front door, you look straight up. Kind of like
auditorium.
Yeah, I want to say bleachers, but that would do a disservice. I mean, they're big wooden steps that people can sit on, and they project on this wall. And these presentation these people did were just outstanding. I mean, just some top-notch work and just PowerPoint skills, honestly.
I got my fix for a long time. Let me say, I came back to my bench, and I'm doing all kinds of stuff this week. It was just so powerful.
And we had some great seats.
Just in the house.
Like a balcony was up around, and they put all the vendors up there, and we just sat there in comfy chairs and looked down and just had some of the best views, I think, of the whole place.
Yep, agreed.
And the recording was off the hook. We talked to so many people from all over the place. I mean, New York, Arizona, Brazil, UK. Remember those guys from New Zealand? I mean, they came from all over the world to Alsip, Illinois.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm hoping, I think they do it every other year, but hopefully they'll do it again next year because we're there.
Oh, for sure. Wouldn't miss it. What a great vibe. So Von Gro and all that group with DTG, well done.
Well done.
Absolutely. And look for those conversations coming out soon.
Yeah.
So this week, we got to talk to a great family doing great dental things.
Well, you did.
Yeah, what happened to you? Like 5 seconds into that whole conversation, you're just gone.
I know. I couldn't text. I couldn't call. My computer, our whole IT are just shut down.
So did you lose power or just like computer?
Computer.
Really?
Phones, computers, Wi-Fi, everything.
That's basically like losing power.
Yeah. Well, yeah, pretty much. And it wasn't hurricane related.
That's what I was going to ask, yeah, because every time you have a hiccup, I realize you're just getting hit by hurricanes.
I'm in Florida.
Well, we did miss you, but I still had a great conversation with a family that is so into dental that there's 3 dentists, 1 becoming a dentist, and 1 a technician that are all in the same practice. So Kelton Johnson reached out to us, way back, and said that he thought his family would be an interesting interview. So you see, Kelton is a dental technician, and he actually graduated from the New York City Tech with our friend Renata.
Yay!
Kelton is an in-office lab. The difference is his lab is in his family's office. His mom, Dr. Jill Morris, the cosmetic dentist, and her husband, Dr. Burr Bakke, he's the surgeon, and they opened up world-class dentistry in Sarasota, Florida.
Right in my backyard.
Is it really right in your backyard?
Pretty much, yeah.
Have you ever worked with this office?
No, sir. They have their own tech.
Yeah, you're not good enough. After an evening of celebrating, their oldest son, Dr. Cameron Johnson, he decided to go to dental school, and he actually specializes in ortho and airway. The youngest, they both went to dental technology school. Now, the sister, Sydney Johnson, she's currently in school to become a dentist, while Kelton, well, he was smart and decided to stay a technician.
Yay!
They come on to talk about family dynamic, the treatment planning workflow, We learn a lot about ceramic implants, and I really nerd out on that.
I bet you do.
And what's next for this collection of dental superstars? So join us as we chat with Dr. Morris, Dr. Bakke, Dr. Johnson, Sydney, and Kelton.
Did you know that not all zirconia is the same?
Zircad Prime Zirconia from Ivoclar is uniquely produced with gradient technology, which allows two powders that normally center at different intervals to be combined into one material which centers uniformly.
The manufacturing process not only optimizes the translucent properties, but it also creates a seamless progression of shade while maintaining optimal strength.
Zircad Prime is now more affordable than ever and will give you the results your dentist will notice. I've seen it, it's true. Contact your local Ivoclar sales representative today to find out more about Prime and how Ivoclar can support your success.
Tell them you heard it on the podcast and get a free Prime disc to try. Just use promo code 723.
And as always, we appreciate your support of the podcast, Ivoclar. Whether you're looking to elevate your craftsmanship or looking to cut back on cost, look no further.
VITA MFT teeth are the ultimate solution for creating lifelike and stunning smiles.
Crafted with precision and backed by cutting-edge technology, VITA MFT teeth offer unparalleled aesthetics and durability.
And since VITA believes in the power of experiencing excellence firsthand, for a limited time only, they are offering you the chance to get a complimentary case sample.
That's right, a full case absolutely free. Just visit vitanorthamerica.com/free MFT.
Don't wait any longer to start providing your customers a premium tooth at an economy price. Redeem your free case sample, and if you're ready to buy, VITA will even give you an extra 10% off discount by shopping online on their newly launched online store.
Join the VITA family today, and we appreciate your support of the podcast. Voices from the bench. The interview. Just making sure everything's recording. Perfect. So we're super excited today. Let's see if we can lay out this landscape we're about to do, because we have a lot going on. Kelton Johnson, a dental technician, reached out to Barb and I, back in April, I think, and said, hey, I got this family. There's a lot of dental going on in this family. And I think it's going to be a great conversation about the dynamic that goes on. So let's first start off saying, Kelton, welcome to the podcast. How are you, sir?
Thank you, Elvis. I'm doing well. How are you and Barb?
Doing great. This is a big family. So you're a technician in a practice. The practice is owned by your parents, Dr. Burr, Bakke? Yep. Burr, Bakke, and Dr. Jill Morris. How are you?
We're great, thanks.
Very good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then your siblings, Kelton. We have Dr. Cameron Johnson.
Hello.
Hello, how are you, sir?
Doing well, yourself?
Perfect, great. And then, soon-to-be doctor, joining via the phone, recorded through a computer. I love this. Sydney Johnson, how are you?
Good, out in the boonies of Florida.
Oh, is that what the connection problem was? You're in the middle of the swamp or something?
Yep.
So, with so much going on, I guess the best way to start is to find out who started this family dental problem.
Right.
How did it all come about?
Well, I'll talk.
Okay.
I'm the mother of these three children.
Yep.
I was an instructor at LVI in Las Vegas, and I taught full mouth rehabilitation.
Wow.
That's where I met Burr Bakke, my husband. We both taught full mouth rehab out there at LVI. So he joined my practice, and we got married in 2004. And the kids, they saw all the pretty teeth. They saw that we were traveling and doing things. But I never encouraged them to go into dentistry because I wanted them to, dentistry is a tough profession.
Yeah.
Everybody knows it's quite tough. And I wanted them to choose their own way. So one night, I don't know, I think we were going to go celebrate something, a birthday or something, and the children were all old enough to have champagne. And we were sitting there, and I looked at Cameron, my oldest, and I said, Cameron, you would have been a great dentist. And he said, Mom, I've always secretly wanted to be a dentist. So that night, he decided to go to dental school, and then...
Of course, at this point, he's 3 years into his degree to get his finance degree.
Yeah.
Well,
so,
I mean, it's pretty easy to be talked out of finance.
Yeah.
That's right.
So, and then that same night, Kelton, who has a degree in music,
Audio recording.
music, he went to Full Sail here in
Wait
Florida.
a minute, you have a degree in audio recording, and it took this long to get connected?
Sure do. It's your website.
So he was 20 and Sydney was 18, graduating from high school. And they both decided that night to go to dental technology school. So I found New York
City College of Technology, who you've had some listeners and people on who I do know.
Yeah, the great Renata Bundy. Yeah.
That's right. So they went up there and took a couple years up there and then came back, and then Sydney decided to be a dentist. So then she went to dental school, but she still does our wax ups and waxes up our orthotics and things like that, even though she's in school. And Kelton started the higher aesthetics dental laboratory here in our office, and he can tell you about all that.
Yeah.
But we're all diversified. I do the cosmetic dentistry, and I'm accredited with the American Academy of Cosmetic Dentistry, and I do full mouth rehabilitation. And then, Burr, you want to tell them what you do?
I do all the surgery. When we joined forces in 2004, it was kind of dumb of us both doing the same thing. So I kind of went back to school and have been training ever since in surgery. So I do all the implants and bone grafts and tissue grafts and things like that.
Do you guys do any simple dentistry there?
We do some, just not much.
Not much, yeah. He was one of the first in the area to start doing all on fours.
Oh, really? Wow.
He and I both went back to school too, and we became naturopath. So we're holistic dentists as well. So he does ceramic implants.
Oh, nice.
Which have had their challenges, but
Oh, yeah.
We've spent a lot of money trying to figure out which system we like.
And we're going to talk about the challenges of restoring those too eventually. So, because I know that's challenging.
It is.
No kid.
So once all the kids were drunk on champagne and decided to become dentists or technicians.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Cameron, you're the oldest, right?
Yes, I'm third degree.
So you grew up in the practice and you secretly wanted to become a dentist?
Yeah, I remember, working my way as an assistant during the summers, and then went off to college, got my degree in finance, worked for corporate finance for a little bit, just didn't enjoy it at all, and then decided to hunker down, finish off the science courses I needed, and go for it. So,
which school did you go to?
LECOM Dental, which is Lake Erie College
of
Medicine. It's the third dental school in Florida.
Yeah. And did you follow in your parents' footsteps with the high aesthetics?
So, yeah, I'm split between doing orthodontics, whether it's Invisalign or traditional, and then the other part of my procedures is just general dentistry.
Okay.
So he does the ortho aspect of the practice. And he also works with children, airway, more growth orthodontics as well. So he can get some pretty complicated types of orthodontics for the kids that really makes a difference in their life.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have created quite the one-stop shop here.
Pretty much. We just all do root canals. That's it. And we'll see. Maybe Sydney will do those.
Simple ones.
Simple ones. Yeah.
So did you, Sydney, and Kelton go to the technician school at the same time?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, we were roomies.
Oh, wow.
Right, yeah, we lived up in Brooklyn there for 2 years. We were roommates together, and both in long distance relationships at the time. So we were
Sat together?
in school, and we just put in our time and got through it.
Yeah. And what drew both of you to go to the technician side rather than just jump right into the dentistry?
For me, I already had my one degree, and going back to school for another 4 to 6 years just didn't interest me.
I get that.
Plus, they're artistic. Sydney's Kelton are artistic.
Yeah, I never even thought I could become a dentist. That just seems so far out for me. So,
Why?
It's a lot of schooling. I was never good at science until I actually went and got my bio degree. But my teachers up there, I think about a year in, they're like, Sydney, you have to go back to school, go become a dentist. And I just thought, well, I'll regret it for the rest of my life if I don't. But it was the best decision I could have made. I'm glad I went back and did that.
And what school are you enrolled in now? Same one?
Same one, yep, Lecom.
Yep.
I'm in my final year right now, so.
Oh, good luck.
Yeah. It's a rough journey, but I can't wait to join the practice.
Kelton, when you came out of technical school, was it always the goal to open up the lab in the family practice?
Yeah, I definitely always, wanted to be a business owner, have the freedom to run a business the way I want to. Obviously, it's not quite that easy being an in-house lab.
Mm-hmm.
But I always thought the idea of working for myself and being able to, combine workforce with the family, and we could really produce some great results for the patients. And I saw that as the route.
So right out of the gate, you got all your work from two highly aesthetic, well-trained dentists.
Yes.
Have you gotten work from dentists that aren't like that?
Yes.
Okay, so you do know that side.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, it's a completely different animal in this practice, just from what I'm seeing. So
what did the practice do for a lab before you?
We had labs. We had Mike Milne's Sunrise, which was micro dental.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
They did our work for a while, and then Williams out in California did our work.
Yep.
Yeah, Mike.
Bob did a lot of my all-on-4s back in the day because it was
pretty new.
Yeah. And I think he and I learned a lot together.
Sure, yeah. Especially back in those days.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Kelton hired some really great people. And then, I do a lot of the quality control and check things. The nice thing, what works so well with the lab is I kind of get into the patient's head and figure out really what they want, what they're afraid of, what they want. And I remember that. So when we're going through the wax up of the cases, finishing the porcelain, even do we want translucent? How opaque do we want the case? It really helps to have me right here because I can remember, she really wants, pointy canines.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, having her accessing the patient's emotions and knowing what they want it gives us such a good success rate for giving the patients what they want.
Well, do you go chairside at all?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
We'll argue over color.
That's
in
right.
Front of the patient. That's right. Like, what do we do here, Kelton? So, yeah, but they love it. They love the fact that we're a family. And
sure.
It's a really fun dynamic.
Yeah.
So when you opened up the lab, what did you start with? I mean, did you get...
So just to give you a little background, so obviously I came out of school not ready to take on what they were doing at the time. Just, we chose NYCCT because of their CAD/CAM program, because we knew the world was going digital. So that's truly why we focused on going there. But, we only got
like a few weekends of CAD maybe, and it was truly you had to take it on the weekend. So it was kind of, not exactly what we had hoped, but we still got enough. So as soon as I came out of school, they just put me into so many digital courses. I was flying all over the country, just learning digital, doing night guards, S6 retainers, things like that, and then a lot of same days just in the beginning.
Any courses stand out to you that really impacted on what you're doing now?
No, there's absolutely, and they all built on each other. Like there's a lot of great people. I trained under Todd Ehrlich, rest in peace. James Clem. There's a lot of great doctors around that were teaching digital. And it was funny because it was the doctors teaching. It wasn't many labs.
Really?
So yeah, you usually flew to a doctor's office and they had enough of a team set up, so they were milling in house, and that's how I started learning.
Who did you see in Miami?
Javier Vasquez.
Oh yeah.
I went everywhere. I mean, I flew all over this country. They really put a lot into my education so that I could learn what I needed to.
And how long do you think you trained for before you came back and were at it?
I mean, I was working at the same time. I would go to courses on weekends.
Oh, sure, yeah.
During the week I'd be doing night guards and things like that. But
yeah, so we had hired a technician. We've hired different technicians to come in and help, and some really good ones that were mentors. That Kelton is the head technician now. He's got people working under him. But, he's been mentored by some really good people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you already had a lab established?
No.
No? Okay.
I think we were doing CEREC.
Yeah, we were doing CEREC in the very beginning, and then just like the little things like night guards.
Sure.
Orthotics, things like
but
that.
No, we didn't.
So what did you expand on, Kelton? I mean, obviously you're still not doing an MCXL right now. I mean.
Yeah, well, we have two of those.
Of course.
One MCX5, but really it was doing a lot of the ortho appliances until I got nice aesthetics. So as soon as I got that, we actually started. I remember doing a lot of like Lava Ultimate.
Oh yeah.
Back in the day, before we found out that they're like to debond a lot. So that's when we eventually made a switch to Emax and other porcelains. But yeah, so I started out just doing their appliances and doing a lot of same days and wax ups as I was training and getting my technique.
Another thing, Elvis, is when Kelton was 5 or 7 and Sydney was 3, I built a lab in my garage.
Oh, there you go.
And believe it or not, I started doing Targus. Remember those days? I don't think you're probably old enough.
I don't remember, but we've had the term come up quite a bit on the podcast, yeah.
Well, it wasn't a good material. We found that out. But I started doing all the posterior work myself. So I would work all week, and then on the weekend I would make the patient's restorations.
While raising 3 kids?
Yeah.
Wow.
So the kids would come in and play in the lab with stuff. I've been through all the Pete Dawson courses, and I also have been through all the neuromuscular courses. So I'm really good with occlusion and use face bows and really do everything right. So a lot of that I was able to teach Kelton as well. Which
is very hard education to get, especially on the technician side.
Yeah, it was difficult to wrap my head around in the beginning. There's no doubt about that.
Oh, for sure.
Complex.
Yeah.
Are you still using InLab now?
Yeah, I still use InLab primarily, and we still do a lot of wax and press. So
wow,
kind of like 60-40 maybe.
Yeah, I really like the contours, how the porcelain comes out of the tissue with wax and press, especially if you've got a lot of bone loss and recession. So I'm a little bit old school with that still. Yeah,
well, with any digital system, it's you draw the margin, and depending on if the tissue's right at the margin level, you're not going to have a very nice emergence
Yeah.
in that tissue. So that's why being able to wax and press it, or, even just mill out the wax and then press that, is just a big difference for us.
Well, you're limited with digital to a degree. When you still do things analog, I mean, you can do whatever you want.
Right.
So are you using intraoral scanners in the office?
Yes, we are.
Yes.
So you got some prime scans going, I imagine?
Got iTero. Cameron uses for his ortho a lot of iTero.
Sure.
And then we've got a prime scan for CEREC and same days.
And we still got an Omnicam sitting around here somewhere.
Somewhere, yeah. Cameron, when you decided to get into ortho, what brought that on? It doesn't seem like it was in the family collective.
It complements real well with what Jill has to do, or Burr as setting up an implant site, or getting the occlusion in a better spot for longevity of veneers or crowns, or just, there was a lot of patients asking, hey, I just want my teeth straight. I've had braces before. I don't want to go through additional again. What can you offer? And so, nowadays, like everyone does Invisalign. And if you're not, it's kind of it's a disservice to the patient who likes a one-stop, shop such as us. So it really helps, not just what I do, but everyone else that is, doing these real complex cases and needs certain things. And I really enjoy it. There's a lot of kind of architecture that you do, and it's really satisfying. And as far as the kids too, it's doing interceptive orthodontics where you can really change their lives early on as far as helping with their airway, and having parents say their kids have stopped wetting the bed or grinding their teeth or snoring at such a young age is just it's just really beneficial.
This is the first time I've heard of ortho stopping bedwetting. Is that a thing?
Yeah, it's all.
That's crazy.
You can exhibit ADHD symptoms, restlessness, all of this kind of stuff. So it's airway is kind of getting more looked at as far as what the dentists are seeing. It seems like everyone has some degree of something going on with airway.
How about adult bedwetting? I'm asking for a friend.
Oh no, let's ask Burr.
Jill wets the bed every night. I can't, I don't know.
Diapers.
It depends, if you know what I'm saying.
There you go.
So I imagine there's quite a family treatment plan session that goes on a regular basis.
Every morning I get him here pretty early, and I go through the new patient charts, x-rays, and things like that, and then make all of my notes, and then I hand it over to Jill, and she does the same thing, and then we hand it over to Cameron. He goes through it, and then we kind of make several treatment plans for a patient and discuss them with the patient so they can pick what they want to do.
And then Kelton says, I'm the technician. I can't do any of this. This is all unfeasible.
Well, we just say make it work, and then somehow
it just comes out.
But we each have it's a big piece for each one of us because, like you were talking about the ceramic implants, and the hardest part about them, one, if you have to learn how to get them to stay in, and then second of all is the restoration of them, because the restorative components on a lot of them are terrible.
That's what I mentioned earlier. I've only dealt with a few. They are, I don't know what they're thinking.
Well, the problem in the U.S. right now is I want to say there's 6 specific implant designs, and they're owned by multiple sets of companies. So,
sure.
They're the exact same implant, but there's several of them out there with just really bad interfaces, the abutments, how they lock them in, things like that. And then you're dealing with a ceramic abutment that breaks. And then if you lose that down in the implant, they're impossible to get out. So it can be a restorative nightmare.
Yeah, and Kelton and I, we don't really like a lot of the abutments that come with them, and
you're a lot more limited, and that interface, how close you're able to get to the bone, getting enough depth into the tissue, or if it's too high. There's just it can be a lot of problems with them.
Tiny slick abutments that you wonder, is this going to last very long? And
just spin a crown like a top hat.
Yeah.
It's
So does all the patients that want them, does it come because of a metal allergy, or is it just like a mindset that they don't want metal?
Yeah. It's
more of the mindset.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. We get holistic patients, and yeah, they don't want any metal, and there's a lot of fear with these patients, and so it's very challenging.
Mm-hmm.
Very challenging dealing with.
There are some that you mentioned allergies. It used to be like 0.06% of the population had a titanium allergy, and it's risen.
Interesting. Yeah.
A lot. It's up to 2% now, but there's a definite allergy to metals, and then so your only option is the zirconia form.
And is there a more failure rate with them?
Zirconia?
Yeah, the actual implant.
Yeah, in the beginning, we had huge amount, like 50%.
Ugh.
Because we didn't understand them as dentists, and the manufacturers were no help. Most of the zirconia implants are based on titanium design.
Yeah.
And they don't work the same. So I've been through almost every one that I know of in the United States trying to find the right one. And some of them are great, really great to put in and bone level and work beautifully well and get stabilized and integrate. But it's the restorative component is not as good as other ones. And then, so I haven't found one that has both yet.
How long have you been placing? He was one of the first ones in Florida to start working with zirconia.
Well, I think I really want to say I was one of the first ones in the country. I think there was only like 8, 9, 10 of us that were really placing them, and we all kind of knew each other.
Yeah.
We'd see each other at different meetings and go,
sure.
Are you having this problem? They go, oh, yeah. And I got to the point where I'd walk into a meeting and this one manufacturer, because I always had problems with them, and I kept asking them. And they'd see me walk in, they'd leave.
Yeah.
It's trying to make them work in it. The problem is the poor patient suffers from them. So.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's got to be even harder to, like you mentioned, get them out, but then also pack bone and place them again.
Rebuild it. Yeah.
And there's a big problem with peri-implantitis with titanium implants in the country. Those are most of the lectures nowadays. What to do with the failing implants. So it's not just zirconia. I think people in general seem to be sicker. They seem to be on more medications. There's more autoimmune diseases.
Yeah.
There's more diabetes. It's a lot different than when I started practicing 38 years ago as far as the health of the patient.
Yeah.
Well, we just complain more. That's all we do now. So.
Well, that's
That has changed. Yeah.
I'm interested about this connection, though. I mean, with the zirconia implant, is the abutment separate or is it all one piece?
Well, you have your choice of both. The problem with zirconia, if you place a zirconia implant and the patient basically touches it at all, chews on it, eats on it, plays with it, flosses it, it's going to fail most of the time, 90% of the time. So the one piece, they're probably the most ideal one because you can prep the abutment.
Yeah.
It's all part of it, but it's getting it to integrate without a high failure rate.
Because it's sticking above the gum and they can play with it and touch it and floss it. Yeah, I get you.
Exactly. So the newest one I'm with has got a bone level implant, which is great. You go down, put it right at the bone level, make sure your tissue's good above it. But then it's connecting the abutment to the implant is still like a titanium one, but you have two pieces of glass you're screwing together. And so it's just not as good. They can't make as many options for you because of the limitations of that.
Well, yeah. And then what's the screw made out of?
Well, that's the other thing. They have, they have a fiber screw, which the first time I told.
Fiber?
Yeah, made out of carbon fiber. And Jill put one in and just screwed the head right off.
Yeah.
And of course, I get to go in and fix it. And then the next one, they have zirconia screws and they have metal screws. Well, even though the metal screw is nicely encased in all the zirconia, patients don't want the metal.
Oh, jeez.
So then you're kind of stuck. So you have glass to glass to glass and hope.
Yeah, or glue, or tiny little tines, and trying to glue. There's abutments that you'll try to glue, and you just know, like we have patients that have had implants for 40 years, 50 years, that are still doing well, and you just think, how long are these going to last?
Yeah, titanium ones.
So we'll see.
But I think that, we talked about some of the periimplantitis. I think that's getting better with more and more knowledge on how to place the implant, platform switches, and things that we can look at around the tissue. And as long as we have really good, healthy tissue, they do real well.
Yeah, and I think an increase in screw retained is helping that. So you're keeping cement away from the actual implant.
Absolutely. Helps a lot.
Sorry to interrupt, but I do believe Sydney is going to have to leave us to go to clinic.
Sydney.
Yeah.
What, do you have like a job or something?
Something like that. Gotta save some smiles.
So you're in school seeing patients your last year? You got to get to clinic?
Yeah, 1 to 7 o'clock at night. We're at a outreach clinic. We see a lot of stuff normal dentists do not see.
Oh.
But just a lot of full mouth extractions and dentures.
Yeah, low cost. That's what you end up doing.
Yep. It's been a pleasure. I'm going to get to work.
Yeah. I'm happy to hear that there's a graduating dentist that actually has done dentures. I'm excited to hear that.
This will be the end of my denture career. No dentures, no RPDs.
Well, Cindy, thank you and good luck.
All right. It's been a pleasure. Don't talk too much smack, Kelton.
All right, I'll try not to.
Nice.
All right. Thanks for
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That brings up an interesting question. Are you doing removables in the practice? I haven't heard a single mention about it.
Once in a while.
Yeah, I do, as long as they're attached to implants.
Yep.
I did a lot of locator dentures to begin with, and then when we started all on fours, it was like, we're just going to do an all on four. Why do the locators?
Interesting.
And I used to have to, anything that happened when we had a lab that would drive over from another town, I'd place all the implants, do the transfer impression. They would go down in their lab in their truck and make the screw retained appliance out of a denture that we had prefab.
Yep. So they did the conversions.
Yeah, the conversions. They'd come back an hour or whatever later, and we'd put them in. And so I learned, because between that visit and 3 months later when everything's healed, if they broke them, which a lot of them did, I had to rebuild them. So I learned how to make all the appliances for all on fours, which was a great help in learning where to place those implants.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we don't do a lot of removable. I mean, once in a while now, I'll do, instead of the all-on technique, I'll take out the teeth and put a denture in and let them heal first.
Yeah.
Regrow the bone instead of cutting away all the bone. It's kind of where I've transitioned to.
And he rarely puts 4 implants in. He does. It's not really an all on 4. It's 6 or 8. Yeah, whatever he can get in there.
And it's better, honestly. I mean.
Yeah.
I mean.
You got to learn. One thing I've learned over the years with this is it's with the all on 4 was originated to allow people with less means to get fixed teeth.
Oh, sure, yeah.
They were missing a lot of teeth with that even. They only had one bicuspid and one molar.
Yeah.
It was shorter. It was a great technology, but now it's like nobody wants to smile and show those big spaces. So everybody, it kind of graduated and grew, and the bone grafting took over and the tissue grafting took over. And so we have the ability now to do so much for patients. And like Cameron was saying, I'll get him for me to move some teeth so I have more space to place an implant or 2 or whatever. And Jill sits down and looks at it with us while we're kind of planning to say, oh no, I need this here or there, or can we do this or that? And so it's really grown a lot into a lot more detail.
Yeah. So Kelton, are you designing any of these dentures to be converted, or?
No, I don't do any of the dentures or conversions. Now, back to earlier when he was saying that the guy would come over and do the conversions here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did get to see a few of those. I never did any of them though, but me and my sister did get to watch a few of those conversions early on. So
He's designed and milled some of the
all
full
lawns.
arch appliances, though.
Yeah,
Sure.
I did all lawns, large span bridges,
Yeah, the zirconia.
all the zirconia. If sometimes we do like a PMMA to let them heal before the finals go on.
With all this technology in the office, I mean, digital dentures should be an easy move for you.
I don't think anybody wants to do dentures.
But they're digital. They're easier. They're better.
Well, if you can eliminate the patient, that
Yeah. Till you put them in the mouth and they
Yeah.
go, I don't like this.
this isn't like my old denture.
Yeah.
So you're able to convince every edentulous patient to say, hey, let's do this all on 6, 8, X, whatever?
Oh, no. There's a lot that come in, and I just say, I don't do the other stuff.
Yeah.
If you want a denture, you need to go. We have somebody we refer to because they do make great dentures. I don't, and it's like, you need to go see this person because I don't. It's not something I do.
Mm-hmm.
We refer people out a lot, just for other things. So
Yeah. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. Know your wheelhouse, So, Kelton, what are you bringing into the lab next? Are you looking to do anything new?
Right now, it's just staying on top of the work. I've got 3 doctors in here, and I've got essentially 3 people in the lab. But it's a lot to stay on top of, and the workflow gets broken up a lot in the day, especially for me, having to transition over to do same days, general dentistry like that. So really, I'm very content just with all the fixed work I'm getting from the 3 doctors right now, and I absolutely have plans to grow, but right now it's I'm sitting pretty happy.
So do you see any work from any other practice?
Not right now. I used to take a little bit, but it was very little extra. But right now it's only internal.
And you have employees.
Yep.
That's a lot of work you guys are doing.
Yeah, and I'm still working, 6 days a week, sometimes 7 days. So it just depends. Especially this month. I've been working weekends too. So
Yeah.
We're busy. We're busy. Even with Dr. Morris going down for a month and a half, 2 months. The lab, that's what I wanted to say earlier. Like the lab, I see a lot less full mouth rehabs, but besides that, it's like my cases just never dropped off. Just, a full mouth here and there, it seems like.
So when you do the full mouths, are you chairside for a lot of those? Or are you?
No.
No,
the way we do them, the full mouth, is I actually put them into an orthotic for 6 weeks to get the bite just right.
That Cameron does, right?
I wax them up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. And then I use that orthotic actually as the bite transfer bite.
Okay.
And then I prep the whole mouth at once. It's about a 5-hour appointment, and they go into temporaries that we wax up and made these stents for. And then it takes Kelton about 4 weeks to get all the porcelain done.
Wow. But you're stacking each individual tooth?
No. We still do a lot of monolithic.
Okay.
We do stack with a lot of micro layering.
We use Emax mostly.
Yeah, but honestly, I can, when we're restoring a full mouth, it's, with no other teeth existing, I have a lot of freedom to play and get them a really nice aesthetic result without having to spend the time to cut back necessarily everything.
Yeah.
And then, start stacking porcelain. I can get away with a lot with Iva color. And
for years I did Empress, and they were layered, and then you'd have a beautiful case, and then number 8 would chip. Because of layering, and it just drives me crazy. So we've been able to get a really nice aesthetic look with Emax, the way Kelton micro stains and does that, and I have like 0 fracture, 0 breakage. And these cases just last forever, it seems like, without any chipping like I used to get with the layering.
So you do a full arch of Emax?
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah. When did Emax come out? 2007, something like that. I started doing a lot of Emax then, and full arch all the time.
On individual preps, you're not talking like
Yeah.
an all on X kind of thing.
No.
Yeah. Individual preps.
Preps, yeah.
Yeah. What is your material of choice when you do those all on X's?
Emax.
So that you're doing in a solid Emax full arch.
Okay, you're talking about on implants, like
all on X.
Yeah, like all on X.
Yeah.
Oh no, zirconia.
Okay, so you're using Zirconia for those.
Absolutely, yeah.
I was gonna say, yowzer.
Yeah.
Yep. Are you doing any sort of support bar underneath that, or are you just doing solid Zirconia?
Solid Zirconia.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, I learned. Went to one course. I don't know. They were coming out with the pectin, and this lab tech there. I think it was in Dallas for a course, and he had a pectin frame, and the Zirconia glued over it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking at that stuff, going, "Doesn't that flex?" They're like, no, it's all great in there. Well, the next thing I heard is, yeah, we quit doing that. It flexed and everything was breaking.
Yeah, pectin, his popularity didn't last long.
No, it didn't. So, yeah, it's kind of like the fiber screws.
Yeah. Have you ever done an all on X with Zirconia implants?
Yes. Actually,
Really?
Yeah, we've got a case.
No, we just
Right.
several.
Yeah, we've done several in the past.
But it's not all on 4 or all on 6. It's like
10.
It's like 10.
All on 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just need Zirconia does better if you can splint several together.
Sure.
So we try, when I do those types of things, I try like traditional all-on-4s, you remove bones so you can move the appliance margin up above the lip line and smile line. When I tend to do Zirconia, I'd rather not remove bone, so I try and regrow the bone so we have a good arch form. Place more Zirconia implants. That's why 8 to 10. And then Jill and Kelton do bridges for it.
Oh, so it's not one continuous arch.
No, you can do that. I've seen some, but I'm just not. I'd really rather not cross arch splint.
Yeah.
Yep. Then you splint the palate, and those bones do need to move.
Yep.
And the same thing on the bottom. If you go too far back, the flexure in the mandible, most of the time you get fractures. And even traditional all-on cases, without Zirconia, you'll get breakage.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be careful how far back you go or leave a break somewhere in that appliance.
Yeah. That's interesting to me. I just haven't had a lot of experience with Zirconia implants.
Yeah,
you definitely don't want a cantilever if you can help it. Have a cantilever bridge on Zirconia implants simply because of the abutments. They're just not great abutments. They're short and they're thick and they rotate and
yeah. It seems like such a limited restorative options just because of what it is. It's almost sad that patients don't want metal.
Yeah, it is.
We're in the process of cutting back on our Zirconia implants.
Yeah.
Patients love the idea of Zirconia and they love the idea of no metal, but when you can't give them the aesthetics that you want to give them, and which is all they see, that's what they're really here for.
That's what they care about the most. Yeah.
So, I can give you the Zirconia, but I can't give you what you want to look like.
Yeah.
And so.
And another one of our goals as the old people in the practice, whatever we do, we're handing it off to our children. So we don't want them to hate us later because we fail.
Oh, they hate us now.
So do they hate us now?
Yeah.
So, we want to make sure we're handing them something that is working well with happy patients. It's going to last a long time. So, yeah.
Yeah. Cameron, are you ready to deal with the next couple decades of broken Zirconia implants?
Sounds like a dream.
Well, he'll give it to Sydney.
Yeah. She's not on the call anymore.
Oh, dear.
All fun.
What's new for the practice? What are you looking to do? Or are you looking to do anything else? What's Sydney going to do when she comes in?
She's going to do what I do. I'm going to train her. We'll work together for a while.
Mm-hmm.
and we'll have to see who takes over the implant side of the practice if we continue once Burr and I retire. But we're not going to retire yet.
No.
What's new?
Are you going to send Sydney to LVI and Panky and all that?
Yeah, I think she should, because I can teach her a lot, but I think when you go to a course, that's when you really submerge yourself in the learning.
Sure.
And you get to know colleagues, and I think going to courses is very important.
Yeah. Cameron, any interest in doing those higher end courses?
So when I got out of school, I went to Implant Pathway. I went to like Pat Allen's tissue grafting courses and stuff like that. And so, I mean, I have my IV sedation license.
There you go. Yeah.
So I have a lot of things I can do if I want to. So we'll just see. Right now, I'm really enjoying orthodontics and
sure.
the general aspect. But yeah, and I do a lot of the 3D printing here for the surgical guides and all that. So
he makes all my guides.
I was gonna ask if you use guides, but I don't know. I just had a gut feeling that you didn't.
Yeah, no, I started out, back in the day, there wasn't a guide.
That's usually why I think they still don't.
Yeah, no, I got into in sequence.
Yep.
And I used that exclusively for my all-on-4, 6/8 or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And for any single ones, once Cameron got here, he started printing them and doing them, and he's great at it and knows the software cold. So we do that, and I think nowadays it's almost standard of care that you pretty much have to. Like the CT scanner, we got a CT scanner back in 2002, 3 or 4, somewhere in there.
Wow.
First ones. And we're on our second one now. That one finally died. And so we're our third one. I don't even know.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can't, that's the standard of care now. You have to have a CT scan, and it's been that way for a little while.
Sure.
We were using it years before. And then once surgical guides got to a level where we could do it in-house, Cameron excels at all that kind of stuff. And, I'm an old guy. I don't even hardly know how to type. So he does that so well that he started making all the guides. And it's just, that does keep growing. And
yeah.
But we all keep going to school around here. Like in the last 3 months, I put in about 300 hours of CE on tissue grafts and stuff.
Wow. Does the family ever do a whole CE family vacation?
Sure we do. That's exactly what we call it.
We have a couple times. We went to see
Arizona.
Yeah, we've gone to some Sarah
New
courses. Chris Coachman.
Yeah.
We all see him in New York, and Schultz. So we have done it a few times. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, I imagine. Yeah, turn it into a whole vacation.
Yeah, you can.
If you want to get into Exocad, they do a yearly thing in Spain.
Hey, we'll have to look at that.
There you go.
I like Spain.
Yeah, it's on some island, I think, but it sounds like a nice place.
In, Mallorca.
Yes.
There for my honeymoon.
There you go.
All right.
Now you can turn it into a write-off.
Right.
That'd be good.
What software do you use to make those guides?
Big shout out to Blue Sky Bio.
Blue Sky Bio, yep.
Those guys are awesome. Yeah, so we use that, and then the printer's Asiga Max.
Yep, great printer.
Keystone for their surgical guide.
See, you all are right in the place to start doing digital dentures. You got everything you need.
I've printed a denture that I scanned on Prime Scan, and I printed in like model resin, and that's as far as this is going to
go. You guys are really against it.
Yeah, and in the lab, we're not looking to do any dentures either, so here we go.
We'll keep you busy. I'll send you yours.
So, Kelton, with employees, how do you break up the work of 3 doctors? I mean, I just can't imagine that you have so much work.
It's been a hell of a process learning how to manage myself and 2 other employees.
Yeah.
And figuring out that workflow. Because there's a lot of stuff only I can do with my digital knowledge that they can't. So it kind of bottlenecks on me a lot, but
He has a nervous breakdown once a week.
yeah, just once a week.
Okay, yeah.
Just
That's pretty good for a technician.
Yeah. So it's it can get crazy, but I get by.
But he comes in on the weekends and
It sounds like a technician, yeah.
Yeah, it's figuring out the managing aspect was definitely the hardest part when I started bringing in employees, because I'm still a technician at the bench every day. So.
Yep, absolutely. How do you break up the work? Are the other people staining and glazing, or?
Yeah, like I have somebody who can do diagnostic wax ups, who can also do model work, so they can do a lot of analog stuff.
You guys are still taking impressions?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Why?
Because I take a hell of an impression.
There you go.
Well, laboratory technicians love my impressions.
There's no doubt about that when you see hers compared to another doctor.
Yeah.
It's not even, I mean, you can't even read margins most of the time.
I mean, you can't always see digital margins clearly.
True.
You can't, so.
And then with the implants, we haven't had a really good scanner.
So implants, you're not doing digital with the scan body?
No, I learned true abutment and all that. I truly haven't had time to implement it. So I know the system. I have all that. I just haven't actually taken on my first.
Yeah.
Digital.
That's probably the next area of growth right there.
Yeah, I did. Me and Dr. Johnson worked on that together, so we would be able to.
Yeah, pull the trigger. It'll make your life a lot easier.
Okay. All right. We will look into that.
There you go. That's my tip of the day. Get rid of your impression coping. Stop pouring up models.
That's right.
We sent some out to maybe Glidewell or something, and they had everything all pre-done and remade or pre-made and everything, digital world for us, and sent it off, and it was really kind of cool. But then I'm looking at all on fours, I'm like, I can't do that because it changes maybe.
Yeah, all-on-4 is a little harder digitally without using like photogrammetry or something.
Right.
Yeah. That I fully am behind still taking impressions for at this point.
Yeah.
Because nobody wants a $80,000 photogrammetry camera.
No.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
Well, fantastic. This is a great conversation that we had. I mean, I appreciate your family. I mean, the legacy that you're creating.
Yeah, we'll see how many grandkids come into them.
There you go. Who's got kids, and are they going to be dentists? Any of them?
No kids yet.
No kids yet.
Well, you guys are all too busy fixing teeth.
Yeah, my wife is a dentist too at another practice.
Oh, geez.
There's no time.
So we all have the same stories when we go home.
Oh, I bet you family holidays is just talks of teeth.
Yeah.
Well, that does bring up a point when the kids were really young and we'd get home from work, we'd take them out to dinner or whatever because we were too tired to cook.
Sure, of course.
And the whole conversation that night was Jill and I talking about cases, and these guys would be so mad at us. Well, now when we all go out, it's all we do is talk about cases.
Is there a fight over who actually carves the turkey? Who's got the better knife skills? Or
Oh, that's Burr.
No.
For sure.
That's mine.
Yeah.
okay. Usually they let the technician do it.
He'd want to use his Uzi for it.
Yeah.
Well, fantastic. Thank you so much. Great to meet all of you. Love what you're doing, and keep it up.
Thank you.
Thanks,
I
Elvis.
appreciate
This
it,
was fun. We appreciate
Yeah,
it.
absolutely. Thank you so much.
Keep up the good work.
We'll do, and we'll talk to everybody later.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Take care.
Yep. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
A huge thanks to the whole family for coming on our podcast. I really am sorry that I missed this interview because you guys know working with family is very dear to my heart. It's not always easy, though, working with family, but it is really special when it works. It's funny how you think a conversation is going to be all about the lab work, and you end up talking about ceramic implants and all-on-X cases. And Elvis, I know you love that.
Mm-hmm.
You just never know where dental talk will take you.
What a great family doing great things.
Yeah, pretty sweet.
All right, everybody, that's all we got for you, and we will talk to you next week.
See ya.
Bye.
Hold on a minute. All right.